Prototypical porta potty pity party.
Today, Wednesday, May 25th, 2016. Revamp the Juices with Monica Demarco. Or The Problem with Everything. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
That was a most pregnant pause moment of not knowing what the fuck I was saying. I'm Holiday Rob.
Congratulations on your finishing your sentence. You're the proud father of a new sentence.
You're a proud father of a new thought.
Yeah.
that has been communicated verbally.
Mostly. It's been mostly communicated. Sorry.
Geez.
I'm always giving Rob a hard time about the intros. I'm a dick. I'm sorry. I apologize for my behavior. I'm Loki Sapfoot here with Holiday Rob.
Yeah,
right?
and tonight's guest is the super talented Miss Monica DeMarco.
Mm-hmm. She couldn't stick around for the intros and the whatnots because she's got to go play a show.
Yeah.
She's always on the move, making it happen.
Right. Doing things, participating in, her community and such.
Making moves, shucking and jiving.
Also, I didn't take the chance to thank her, but thank you, Monica, for coming on and being on this silly thing that we do weekly because we have an addiction, sir.
I have an addiction to mediocrity.
I have an addiction to making product.
Gotta make content. We gotta make content. Gotta generate content.
Have you made your content today?
Gotta make some content.
Have you made your content this week?
I just need a little more content. You guys got...
Hey y'all got any more of that content?
Yeah. Speaking of content.
Yeah, speaking of content, if you're so inclined, you can...
Or even if you're sitting upright in your chair.
No, recline.
Even if you're not climbing a mountain or riding an elevator at the time.
Even if you're not riding up a hill.
Even if you're not in a plane that's taking off.
Or not even nothing even is remotely close to incline.
If you're not on a ski lift, anyway.
If you got an inkling about an inclination.
Inkling.
You can subscribe to us on iTunes. It's The Problem with Everything. Super easy. Press a button. Comes in your ears.
Yeah. It's a little messy, but you learn to love it.
Via your iTunes.
Yeah.
You can like us. You should. Vote for us. 5 stars. You know we're great. You love us.
Yeah. Vote for us. Is that what you just said? Yeah. You can vote for us.
Vote for us.
Yeah, write us in on the upcoming presidential election. We'll share power. No one's tried that yet.
Yeah, with whoever.
No, with each other.
Oh.
Yeah, me and Rob will be co-presidents.
I thought it was whoever we win. No way, man. I'm going to be vice. That's where the real power is. Dick Cheney.
All right,
all the way.
So I'll be president. You'll be my running mate.
Yes.
Sweet.
Or jogging mate, or we can walk. It's not I don't know why it's always about running. Jeez.
You think when they have an election in Australia, do they call it a running mate? And does that confuse the populace? Running mate. Wait,
running
what?
mate.
Huh?
It's his friend. I thought they were in office together.
So confused. I don't know about this Queen's English.
Maybe they're like, I'm president. This is my running pal.
Right, running pal. I don't know. That sounds weird.
Yeah.
Sounds like somebody you go for a jog with.
Running pal.
Like when Joffrey and fucking, I don't know, from Strangers with Candy would go jogging because they were gay. Anyway, and Joffrey was married. Or was it No, Joffrey wasn't married. Colbert's character, whatever his name was married. And he'd leave his wife in the morning to go jogging.
Oh, that's right.
Him and Joffrey could butt fuck. The art teacher and the whatever. Colbert. I don't remember Colbert's character's name. Anyway, what the fuck are we talking about? I'm sorry.
I was thinking about Amy Sedaris because she was amazing in that show.
Yeah, everything about that show is amazing. Onyx Blackman makes me think of caramel. Makes me think of fondue. Yeah.
If you love these kind of musings that are random and non sequitur,
even if you just kind of like them,
you can ingest them at 140 characters at Holiday Rob on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's all one word, Holiday Rob. Where can the good folks find you?
Also at Sapfoot is on Twitter. That's my Twitter feed, my Twitter stream, my Twitter fucking account, whatever the goddamn hell it's called.
Whatever these 140 characters are.
There's too many things. Now I want to take this moment to speak about Twitch.
Yes.
I've been obsessed with Twitch the past like week and a half. I made myself an account.
You haven't set it up? I mean,
I have.
You are setting it up?
I still can't go
you need
from
a capture
console.
card.
Yeah, but I figured out I can play emulator on my laptop. And I think I tweaked at first it was way too choppy and my computer would get hot as shit.
Technology!
I'd check the CPU and it'd be like 68% CPU usage. It'd be all hot and humming. But I think I figured out tweaking the graphics to where I can keep it down around like 30, which still isn't great, but it like at least keeps it from like slowing down too much. It's still a little choppy to watch, but it's at least watchable, I think.
Yeah.
So we're going to try it out again tonight. We're doing a show. I don't know if I talked about it last week. It's the Miseducation of AC May. So what we're doing is we're playing retro games, me and my lady friend. Because she sucks at the video games, right? So we're re-educating. We're going back through all the games that I played growing up, and so she's getting to play them.
Right.
So we're playing through them together, and that's like our Twitch channel.
That's how these good relationships work, people. You have to really take people through your experiences that you've been through in order for them to understand the psychotic, antisocial creature you are now.
Yeah, right. You got to get a better idea of what the fuck caused this damage
and where they're coming from. I did that recently with my lady friend as well. Not video games. I made her watch Bully, the Larry Clark film. Which, if you're not familiar with Larry Clark, Another Day in Paradise, Kids, his most like important film. One. Ken Park, which never got released in the United States because it just was way too hardcore.
Too much. Yeah.
What's Up Rockers is another one. But man, Larry Clark's films, like his camera is unafraid to show whatever it needs to show and to be a part of anything. And Bully is like fucking hardcore. It's
I've never heard of this.
So Bully is based on a true story about a couple of dude friends from Florida and this group of kids who end up like helping one of the guys kill the other guy. Like, weird. Not spoiler alerts. This is totally based on a true story. If you look up true crime or whatever, Mario Pucci, or I'm messing up his name. But from Florida, two guys, one of them killed the other one. Because one dude was like super abusive and really kind of creepy and kind of a not nice person. And so these kids went out there and like killed him. And it's like the process of that and the repercussions of that. And
weird.
Filled with plenty of like sex, rape, and all kinds of crazy shit. And honestly, we were talking about this, Kayla and I was like, that's the thing, though. She was like, that was horrifying. That was like really horrifying watching this like horrible character get killed, though. And I said, yeah, but that's the problem with movies is like we don't ever give like any weight to actual death. Like there's like horrible.
And that's why the Walking Dead finale sucked.
We really missed out on that part.
Just to drive home that point once again.
But yeah, we don't have any reverence for actual death in films. It's always very sterile and clean and quick and doesn't.
It's always off camera.
And
you get shot and you go oh, and then you're dead.
Yeah, no, not like
they don't show like the 3 hours of bleeding out from the stomach trying to crawl.
See, my thing was always like I saw a video of a guy getting executed one time as a kid.
I've watched. I'm weird, and I watch that kind of stuff just to remind myself that we live in the world still. I think.
Well, it's a moment that's like it's documented, and you're just kind of like why wouldn't I want to just at least wonder about that? Like I don't ever have to participate in that. I can like see this and have the visceral reaction to it.
You know what I saw the other day? Budweiser, I think, is that his?
Yeah, who shot himself after he'd been
he was like the treasurer of whatever state or whatever,
and he was totally innocent too.
Yeah, but he was fucked. Yeah, he was going to go to prison.
He was the fall guy.
Yeah, and so he killed him. He held a press conference and then surprised everybody by shooting himself.
Yeah.
I saw that the other day. The Filter song "Hey Man, Nice Shot" is based on that song.
Yeah.
On that event.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we got wildly off track.
Oh wait, but then so the last thing about reverence for death, just real quick, is so this execution video is this guy with a sign on, and they throw him in a ditch and they shoot AKs at him, and it was like the first time when I was really like, oh my god, bullets really fuck things up. Like the cavities in your face will collapse. You'll look like a horrifying version of what a human can be, and you'll breathe there until you die like a fish gasping for water. It is horrifying. It is a crazy thing. So filmmakers, get on that shit. What are you doing?
Yeah, I remember I had a friendship with he was the original drummer for Captain Beefheart's band.
Oh, wow.
And he lives here in Albuquerque, which I don't know if I should tell everybody that. I don't know, whatever. No one's going to go find him. But anyway, he actually had to leave the band to go to Vietnam. And I was visiting him, just hanging out, talking about all his crazy experiences in life and whatever. And he was showing me pictures that he took in Vietnam of like,
oh my God.
And it wasn't fucked up shit. No, it was just like the guys with the guns at the base or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was just looking at it, and I guess I seemed unimpressed. And he looked at me, he's like, "Those are real guns, by the way. They're full of bullets."
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." You see so many images, just like desensitized. And this guy's he's like, "I was there, and I'm telling you about it," and I'm just like unimpressed. Just anyway,
where's the villagers that got killed by the can we see that?
If you want to follow along on the Twitch, it's Loki Sapfoot, Twitch TV/Loki Sapfoot, just like it's spelled on the podcast. You can also find me on Xbox Live, Loki Sapfoot, and Nintendo Wii U, Loki Sapfoot. Awesome. Where can they find you to play the video games?
Still doing that PS3, PlayStation Network thing. Really only playing 514.
I keep seeing
sporadic.
I keep seeing ads for EVE Online. Is that the same shit?
It's the same group or company or something like that. So yeah, they're but yeah, EVE 51 Dust 514. Holiday_SAIL holiday sale. Good luck.
And that's on the PS3. Right.
Yeah, good luck trying to engage me though. I'm pretty
elusive.
I go in there to get frustrated really.
One thing I'm going back to the Twitch real quick. I wanted to mention this. We were talking long ago on the podcast about some sort of like performance painting thing.
Oh right.
And I've been exploring the idea of painting on the cam. And just because they have creative, people do it. So, and it seems like people are interested in watching that kind of stuff. So it would encourage me to actually work on the shit that I just haven't worked on in like years.
Right.
While at the same time satisfying my base urge for attention that I so desperately need. My precious. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Anyway.
Why aren't you looking at me? Look at me.
Look at me on Facebook.
Yeah, right.
The problem with everything on Facebook. Look at us.
Yeah, you can put spaces or not. Follow us. We put up stuff weekly. I wish we had more interactions as far as like posting things we're interested about, but I barely
spice up my work day. Send us a message. You'll see that on the Facebook. I'll be all a fan.
I rarely post on Facebook. The only reason I have this last like 24 hours is because a candidate came to town that nobody likes anywhere except for some people who don't seem to be exactly very nice, although
white supremacists are the group you're referring to.
I mean, I would fight for their ability to say what they
fight.
Say what they
for the white.
What they want to say.
Party.
Supremature. But yeah, he was here last night, and so everybody's been like agog at the fact that, like, I don't know, that we might have Mexicans here who might take offense to being called a blanket statement of rapists.
Right. What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah,
people were like, I'm thinking of going just to see, like, if there's like a protest. And like, if there's a protest,
and frankly, there were
I'm staying far away.
there were like thousands of people that went and were peaceful and only verbally abusive to
as well we all should be.
Trump. Well, that's the problem. Trump exists because we don't have a sense of shame anymore. Like, that's the only reason that motherfucker exists in the place that he does. Kim Kardashian and him exist because we've given up on the idea of shame in society.
Right.
So I'm sorry if people were verbally abusive and painted certain people a certain way. Maybe you should really think about the choices of who you're supporting for candidacy, because, like, I'm going to tell you, like, as much as I have nothing but disdain for Hillary and I'm lukewarm about Bernie, like, nobody riots at their shit because they're not out there spewing
inciting hate,
nationalist, extremist nonsense.
It's over the top. And I don't even think the dude believes what he's saying. I think he's like Rush Limbaugh. It's just a job. I mean, he's a deplorable dick.
Right.
But I don't
he's
think
a total asshole.
I think it's just whatever. I just want to be famous and for people to like me. I don't really hate Mexicans, but if it'll rile people up and make white supremacists love me and Mexicans hate me, I'm going to say it.
He's totally patronizing and manipulative.
Yeah.
Like, just saying exactly what he knows stupid people want to hear. Or, probably.
So I listen to a lot of podcasts, and there's people, like a lot of comedians and stuff, have dealt with him because they did like a roast for him on Comedy Central.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And he's done pro wrestling shit before.
Right.
And they are all like, yeah, he was just a nice guy. Like, he seemed reasonable behind the scenes. Like, he was polite and was nice to me and seemed fine. And then you see him on camera, and he's just like this bloated douchebag. Like, I think it's not all an act, but I think a lot of it is an act, which doesn't make it okay at all. Probably makes it worse, arguably. Anyway, this intro is way too long.
No, it's fine. We haven't had a chance to like riff on anything today. We kind of like jumped in here and did an interview, and it was great. And you're gonna hear a lot of good stuff. Monica's gonna talk about her rise to power as a musician, which is always a fun thing. Talk about more of some of the themes we've had from previous guests, such as Animal, about gatas y vatas, and female performers and music and where that comes in and what it means and how you be a part of it and all that good stuff, because we know that's the stuff you desperately enjoy, not our ranty nonsense, our shambly ranty
Shambly Rants. Shambly Rants. That's a good name for a podcast. Shambly Rants.
I'm guessing this will be out on Thursday on time as usual.
Well, Thursday, like evening-ish.
Yeah. So Quietly Kept, what shows do we have? We have, I think we have one at the museum on June 3rd, which is this week? Next week. It's coming up. It's 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
This weekend, I feel like we have a show, but I couldn't tell you what it is. So that's not very helpful. But if you want to check out what I'm doing, quietlykept.com, Facebook, Insta, Twitter, all those things, man. And as well, our guest, Monica Demarco, who goes under the name Cthulha, which is like Cthulhu, but his cooler, radder, musically inclined sister or female counterpart. I'm not exactly sure. Or he just felt pretty that day. Whatever. No judgments.
Sometimes I feel pretty.
Yeah, and it's nice to put a flower in your hair and then get yelled at from the road. She will be performing as Cthulha June 8th at Tanix, which is an art and music
And it's on, space. Like 4th and Bridge or whatever?
Yeah. Broadway? No.
No, 4th Bridge. And Avenida Chavez, right?
Turns into Bridge.
Yeah. It's right there by the...
And her band Chichara will also be playing there. Not that night. It'll be a different night. But if you want to check them out, they have a Tumblr, which we mention. And you can check them out on Facebook, which is where I keep up with them.
Just like Google that shit. Look for it everywhere. Chichara. Did I spell it right?
Chichara. Yes.
Nailed it. Count it. Yes.
It's one of those words that's like fun to say, but you like have no idea how to spell it because you're having too much fun saying it. Is how I describe that.
All right.
But let's start off the people with a song that she is going
the nice people
that we're going to have, because it's all her music tonight, and she's not screwing around. She has a degree.
She's a fucking doctor.
Yes.
Well, not
literally. Dr. Demarco has a song assigned for you tonight. It is called La Loca, and it actually goes under her name Cthulha. So here we go.
We'll talk to you in a couple minutes.
From our guest, La Loca.
So we could be.
So I was talking about making a cereal, like a Cheerios type cereal called Setios. Setios. And then like the tagline would be, they're all bad.
That's pretty good.
And then you could have like some tourist type just all, these are really good. And she's all, no, they're all bad.
That's amazing.
Setios.
Nah, they're all bad.
I like it.
New Mexico.
Anyway,
It's beautiful.
we're here.
We are here. It's a real thing. It's happening on a Wednesday, hump day.
Wednesday.
Tonight's guest, Monica Demarco.
What's up?
So
Welcome.
So give us the roster of everything that you're about. I mean, you don't just do music.
Oh, the roster. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess what I've been really interested in the last couple of years is doing a lot of collaboration with aerial art.
Yeah.
So a lot of like, for those who are not familiar, that's like trapeze and lyra and silks and that kind of like acrobatic stuff. Making live scores for those shows and
Nice.
working with. It's really, really fun to have like another art form sort of coming in as you're creating, because it sort of opens your mind while you're trying to make new things.
Is there like a aerial dance scene in Albuquerque?
There is. There's
Of course
actually
there
a
is. That's
pretty
awesome.
awesome one.
Nice.
And the company that I'm a musical director for is Air Dance New Mexico. And there's also the Albuquerque Aerialist Collective that's part of the Factory on 5th, where there's shows and stuff too.
Word.
That whole complex with all like that art stuff going on.
Albuquerque always feels so small, but there's so many different people. There's
So
like
much art. Yeah.
There's
There is.
everything you could think of. There is.
Yeah.
Just in smaller portions.
We had Joe Casada on, and I brought him on as a comedian, but then he was like, "Oh yeah, I wrestle too."
And you're like, no.
We were like, "Oh, okay, cool. Let's talk about some wrestling."
Yeah,
that's
wrestling.
awesome.
That was amazing.
So that's like, I mean, doing a lot of that stuff with music. I
What
also do martial arts. Sometimes I bring that into what I'm working on too.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm also a piano teacher. Like, I know everyone's always expecting this blue-haired old lady, but yeah, I teach piano. And then I answer the door when we're having our first meeting, and they're like, "Is your mom home?" And I'm like, "Oh no, I'm the piano teacher. Like, I'm here to interview you."
No, I'm my mom. I mean, I'm the teacher. Sorry.
Totally.
How are you, your mom? It's a
Yeah.
Futurama thing. Go back in time.
I got you.
And then Chichara is my main band. That's like bass and stuff.
Yeah. So historically, again, like I know you from Ya Ya Boom, but I think the first time I saw you play was like when you were in high school.
Yeah, I was like the bass player for everybody's band in high school.
Right.
Like I'd play Battle of the Bands, and it just didn't matter who won because it was just like, woo!
That's like when you play like football, like in middle school or whatever, at the free period, and there's the all-time quarterback. You know, that's what that's like.
Yeah, but I always did like jazz band and orchestra and everything. I like to be able to fit into a lot of different styles and draw energy from all those different things.
I realized it on my way over here. The three of us were performing the first show that I ever played, like out at a bar, you know.
Really?
Wow.
It
Which
was
bar?
at Rallies, which I don't even know.
Rallies.
Is that even a place anymore?
It's not. I don't know what it is
Because
anymore.
the street goes through there now.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it's
Yeah.
like over there. But
Sad.
yeah, it was at Rallies, and I think I was not 21 yet.
What?
And
Really?
Holiday Sale was there, and Yaya Boom, and the Isness, which was
Wow.
The Isness. I
my
haven't
band
thought about
before
Yeah.
Batwings.
Before Batwings.
Cool.
Well, did you see that old poster? I mean, that was like from the Rock Outside the Box with
Oh, yeah.
feels like Sunday.
That's a killer poster.
Hollis
it's pretty
Wake
sweet.
and Unit 7 Drain. We had little
Yeah.
Bobby on several weeks ago.
Oh,
and
good. Cool.
Kind of got to talk about not so much those old days, but I mean, so having been in the music scene that long, like, what have you noticed has changed? I mean, there's clearly been like changes. I mean, like
Sure, of course.
venues
Yeah.
like leaving downtown, not becoming the music hub it kind of used to be. I mean,
Yeah.
some spots are still hot, but like, you know, you used to be able to go out and get a drink and then just wander and just go from like show to show, or venue to venue
Yeah, I
or
remember
whatever.
that.
And
I think one of the like big changes that's really important to me is seeing some more women out there.
yeah,
And not just as like a tertiary character in the band who's like in the back doing stuff, but like an actual like, you know, songwriter.
to thank our merch girl.
I mean, there would be nights that we'd play with Yaya Boom, and it
Yeah.
was just me and Marisa were like the only women in the fucking room.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
not even just on stage. You're just like, what happened here?
I was always super stoked about the girls because we had Minnie and Holiday Sale.
Yeah.
And then there was a Hollis Wake, which was
I
two
remember
girls, two
Hollis
guys.
Wake.
And then Feels Like Sunday, which was led by a female.
I used to get them confused. Hollis Wake and Feels Like Sunday.
Oh, really?
I think
There's,
yeah.
I can see how the
if
overlap
I
would happen.
remember my misremembering correctly.
Yeah.
Do you remember Key? She had
I remember
Yeah.
Key. Ashley?
yeah, Ashley
Yeah.
had the long,
She used to work at Births, right?
long white dreads.
Yeah.
I
great.
I went to Vegas for the Vegas Music Festival one time,
Yeah.
and we pulled into our hotel as we drove into town, and I got out, and she was standing right outside my car. It was really weird. And as I saw her, I was like, "You're from Albuquerque," and she was kind of freaked out. She was like, "Yeah,
I found you."
I just recognized her. She didn't know who I was at all.
She's like,
So I was just like this weird dude that got out of a car from the future.
Sorry, I can't wait to wear your skin. It's my bad. I should really preface these things better.
yeah.
I don't know about all that.
Yeah.
I was thinking more of
Whoa.
a get in, there's no time to explain situation.
That's right. We're not wearing human skins in the future.
We already did that a couple episodes back.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so
So that's maybe one thing.
more female, and I think you've kind of been part of the group of local musicians who have been helming that idea of bringing more female musicians out to, I mean, just to
Yeah.
perform in general.
Why do you think there's a lack? What do you think the causes are?
You know, and I remember, like, so this, like, pre-got this, me and my sister were, like, sitting down and kind of talking about it. We're thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? Most of the kids in my piano studio, they're all girls. You know, there's all these women who've been playing guitar for, I don't know, 16, 20 years, and why are they at home? Why aren't they at the shows? You know, I know so many people have dedicated so much time to instruments, and it's like, why aren't they on the stage, you know?
Right.
And so that was kind of the idea with getting Zivata started, that the music festival that my sister sort of helms.
We talked about that with Anna Mall. when she was
Yeah,
here.
was like, you know what, maybe you just got to put the invitation out there. And once you do, it was just like swarmed. Like there was definitely, it's there. It was already existing.
So you think it was that there was a societal expectation,
Yeah.
or not expectation?
I mean, have
but-
you ever been at a show and you hear someone talking and they say something like, I just hate female vocals, or, you know, something kind of shitty like that, and you're like, really? The whole
the whole gender,
You're just gonna check off half of humanity,
which is really funny because I'm more along the lines of like to drop the dudes because the dudes all sound the same. They're all they all sound constipated and atonal.
I mean, and I there's a lot of dudes who help with Gathas too, so I'm not trying to say like dudes are terrible or something. Like dudes that come and help do sound, they like really support what's going on. But yeah, I mean, I sometimes like dude musicians get competitive with each other and they're not always thinking about like the artistry aspect, whereas I feel like a female musician getting out there is going to have a really good sense of their own voice already that has to be intact to even have the courage to get on stage.
Right. So
like,
and they don't need anybody there being like tearing that down before they've had a chance to like really put it out there.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, as far as like,
so that's like so beautiful about the festival is that you see people's solo sets and you're just like, damn, there's so much variety. There's so much heart and personality in what they're doing. Nobody's trying to like beat anybody else.
That's part of what that's part of why I kind of got out of the hip hop thing. Like I just the vibes around it got tiresome for me
because you don't have any neck or face tattoos.
No, well, it's just always rams butting heads, trying to. It's like they act like reality show stars of like just always trying to pick apart and like I don't know. I don't want to generalize all
the whole
hip
scene.
hop people,
right?
But just the vibe around the scene. It just always felt like pressure to outdo instead of just everyone trying to make the coolest shit possible, which seems like more fun. You know,
anything to work in Albuquerque, we have to support each other. Like,
you
have to.
Yeah.
You can't be like out there to slay other people and get on top. Like it doesn't work that way.
Well, every time an outside element has done that, they have learned a very, very rough lesson about how nobody's going to put up with your bullshit. I'm going to come in here and like really make this Albuquerque scene something because you guys suck.
I hate that. That is maybe a peeve. Like those carpetbaggers coming in, like I'm going to make something out of you, and it's like there's a lot already happening. Like, you want to come to a show,
right? Yeah.
Like
whatever happened to it being like, hey guys, can I sit at your lunch table? I don't know anybody else.
Right?
It's cool. It's cool to be humble.
It's such a weird thing because, like, so to people from the bigger cities, we're like podunk, right? But I dated a girl from Artesia one time. Right, it was like right after high school. We were at UNM, so we were both like 18 or whatever. And to her, Albuquerque was Manhattan. Like, she was in awe of like the city. Like, so I mean, just like the different levels.
Right.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Albuquerque native?
Yeah, born and raised. Yeah,
Crazy.
and then like North Valley, went to Los Ranchos Elementary and Taft and Valley. I grew up here. My family's from New York, but I have only been there like once or twice.
Yeah, I'm kind of a transplant.
You're a transplant? From where?
Gallup. I mean, I wasn't born there. I was born in Oakland, but
cool.
Pretty much grew up in Gallup. But to me, all big cities look the same. We used to go to DC a lot, and so I'd be like, Albuquerque, DC. They're both bigger than I can comprehend.
They all have Applebee's, Mama.
Right, yeah. There's a Red Lobster in both those places. I'm happy.
Yeah.
So my 7-year-old self would say. But so what was the inspiration for picking up an instrument? Well, what do you play? Or what's the list?
So I guess in order from like most virtuosic to like
most experimental.
I like that. I like that you finished that thought for me.
Good spin.
So piano is what I have my degree in, like concert piano.
Yeah.
And then I also play bass guitar, which I developed through like being part of the rock scene and stuff. I play cello and I guess singing is in there. I don't know where I'd put it in the lineup. And then I just barely started playing acoustic bass.
Whoa. And
I've really been enjoying that.
Like a stand-up or just like a really, oh my God.
I had somebody, my friend Mel, offered to trade me a stand-up for some piano lessons. And I was like, yes, ma'am.
Nice.
We'll be making that trade. And now I just got to get lessons. Like,
you mean there's no taxes involved? Let's do this shit.
Yeah, let's rock. Yeah.
Bartering like the old days. So how did you just have piano lessons as a kid? I mean, how does that happen?
My mom is a pianist.
Okay.
And so she started me and my sister when we were really little. And then eventually you can't really study with your parents anymore because
No.
it gets
So,
weird. And then
If your mom had been home, it still would have been all good. You both could have taught piano, right?
She does teach. That's what my mom does. Yeah. We like geek out together.
You could have given people the option. My mom is home. Would you like lessons from her or from me?
Yeah.
Or from both?
Who do you trust more?
Yeah. So that's part of the family. My dad plays accordion.
Oh, wow.
Really Italian.
Is your dad Weird Al Yankovic? Because that'd be pretty cool.
No.
I'd probably invite myself over for dinner
She's
or
all-
something if he was.
No, but I believe he has run with scissors before. Album name drop.
That's
Yeah.
good. That was all right.
No, so just part of the family thing to do.
But I mean, picking up bass was just like I had started playing cello in the orchestra, and then the jazz band teacher was like, "Hey, come over here." What do
was
you
that
think?
like what, 7th, 8th grade?
Yeah, it was Mr. Striegel in the 7th grade.
Big
Oh, wow.
ups to Mr.
Was just
Striegel.
like, I need
Way to
a
plant-
bass player.
way to plant
Come here.
seeds.
You play cello. It's tuned differently, but you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played bass in the jazz band in 8th grade too.
Yay!
It was really fun.
So I learned like all the walking lines. Like you really get
mm-hmm.
some. You get all over the neck when you're learning those kind of lines.
Basic scale and
Learn how to finger sing.
ideas and stuff like
economy.
that.
I did chorus in school because I
Yeah.
was lazy and you can kind of just get away with not doing
So you're
or
that guy in
learning
chorus.
anything. Yeah, I regret it.
Poor kids play guitar. Poor kids do chorus
Yeah.
because the piano's expensive.
Chorus is pretty cool though. I sing in like the UNM choirs, and I sing in like little church choir and everything. That's I guess where I developed singing.
Yeah.
Was through an ensemble.
Yeah, I was all right when I would try. I kind of wish I had put a little effort in.
That's the main part, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Regrets of my youth.
You're not too late to join a choir right,
Right.
now. I'm telling
Do
you.
it.
You might be right.
Would you have baritone?
I don't fucking know.
He's got that nice.
sounds reasonable.
He's got that
right?
nice, rich radio voice. That's why I keep him.
Yeah.
Why I keep him around. I'm like, why wouldn't I do a podcast with you, dude? You got the voice for that shit. You're tuned to the problem with everything.
This guy that I talked to on the phone at work said that I sounded like Eeyore, which is stuck in my head, and I don't sound like Eeyore, do I?
You're complex.
Yeah, I got the Eeyore complex.
Can you help me out? I guess.
All right.
All right, let's do it. So, goodness, there's so many questions, and I'm like blinking on all of them. So, got into it through piano. There was no like rebellion there. There wasn't like, oh, you're making me do this. I don't want to do this.
No,
This
I
is
mean,
not
all
it."
teenagers rebel against shit. That's what being a teenager is.
Which I guess bass guitar would be kind of be the
Yeah, it was me
rebellion.
being a rep, but still
Yeah.
like studying really hard anyway. I don't know. I just really, I cared about it so much. It's like the only thing I cared about. I guess my act of rebellion was to kind of like ditch school and practice piano in the broom
Oh.
closet in like drama department, you know? Like
Nice.
ditch English, I'm in the broom closet playing piano or, you know.
Look at Harry Potter over there practicing magic in the broom closet.
Yeah, I've always been really passionate about art.
Yeah.
So then other things kind of hit the wayside sometimes.
But
Like your grades. But kids stay in school.
yeah, right. But clearly you graduated. I mean, you got a degree.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So that was always my thing. Is like I did the rebellion thing, which was I learned piano as a kid. I played French horn in like
French
mid
horn
school.
is hard.
Yeah, it is hard.
Power to you.
But I
You'd
just
look real good with a French horn. That'd be a good choice.
it's very but like I didn't like playing. I wanted to be a drummer. Like when I had the
awesome.
option, I was like, I want to play drums. Mom was like, everybody's gonna play drums. Don't you
Everyone
want a
has this secret
scholarship? And I'm like,
desire,
no, because I don't know what I want to do. And then I found
Right.
guitar, and I was like, I know what I want to do now.
Yeah.
But the like thing about guitar is like I fell in love with that shit like hard. I fell in love with playing guitar and being a guitarist. But I never once ever thought like, yes, I should go to school for that. And it was always like I should go to school for something else that I can make money in, which was dumb because I went for media, which you can't do. I mean, it's always like hustling, but like
Going to school doesn't mean you're going to make money.
yeah. Well, I mean, now I know this 15 years later.
I feel like having a degree in art is just like my justification for choosing to be you know, not a successful member of society, you could say. Yo.
Hey.
Yo.
So this next song is our guest performing all the instruments, as was the previous, which I didn't say in the intro. But
That's
now you know, you've been listening this long. But this one's called Cloudy Gray by Cthulha.
All right.
Check it out. Yeah, how did you decide music?
I had an orchestra teacher, Mr. Scheinberg, who just straight up set me up with an audition and was like, "Go to this." I was like, okay. Like, I didn't even know that's what I wanted. And, you know, when you go to college, you're like 18. You're just like, you don't know what's going on. You're like, I guess I'll do this.
Okay.
Let's see what's up. And then, like, as I got more involved, you know, there's definitely some really hard parts about it. They don't have a lot of graduates. Like I was one of 2 people who graduated my department.
Wow.
You know, who make it to the end.
Damn.
Can be really rigorous. I didn't do a lot of partying in college.
That's like becoming a ninja or something,
right?
That's like joining Fight Club. It's
Kinda. It's like you run your soul over the coals for sure.
A blind music master,
a sensei.
Yeah.
I don't know. Blind in certain ways for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I think, but I do like, I guess I was kind of mad about it when I graduated. Like, you don't get what you're expecting from school. Like, you're expecting this wonderful, nurturing, I don't know, environment where you're going to like grow. What you get is like a punch in the fucking face that you are just not, you're not the best. And you're going to have to work really hard to even be mediocre.
Yeah. And you'll be lucky if you ever get close to halfway to the best. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's really, it's tough. It's something you have to fight your way through. But I don't know. Do you guys know Manny Rettinger?
I know the name. I don't know.
He's the recording artist there. He like takes care of every recording, all the recitals and stuff.
Yeah.
He's a really cool guy, and he just supported the shit out of me, and that's why I graduated school.
Nice.
Like, could probably solely credit that guy who like made sure I got scholarships and would just like vouch for me the whole way. You know.
Nice.
Good to have a friend like that.
Yeah. No doubt. So you got out of school, and then what was the next step?
Oh shit, what happened? Okay, I got out of school. I guess the next big thing that happened is that I toured with the Red Elvises.
Oh, that's right. Yes, nice. I was thinking about this because...
Which was out of the blue. I didn't audition. We just happened to play a show with them, and afterwards Igor walked up and was like, hey, my band.
How do you like living in a van for several weeks at a time? And I remember talking about this with you one time when I ran into you after you had been doing this for a while, because... I think sometimes musicians and really just people in general are like tour.
Oh God, like you guys!
The most romantic
the
thing
Holy
ever.
Grail.
Yeah.
Like he went to Jared's, but I went on tour, so that was way better.
I think what I discovered about touring is that I will put up with the hard parts of touring if I love what I made.
Right.
So like touring with my bands is really where my soul is.
Your
like
creative core, yeah.
You know, I think being a hired gun for somebody else's art, and some of it I don't totally agree with. Like we were talking about a little light misogyny earlier. Some of their lyrics, you're like, what is this song? Why am I playing keyboards on this? No, they were nice guys for the most part. It's hard. I mean, it was the only chick on the tour bus. So it was like hard sometimes.
No, it gets stinky.
Yeah, it does. Fuck. No, it was good. It was good helping me define like what I'm really after, which I don't think is like fame or fortune. It was really weird for me to be treated like I was famous. Like it was fucking awkward. Lots of weird false comments, lots of weird like compliments, like you sounded so great even though you know you sounded like shit, and people needing to take pictures with you. I was like, this is hard. This isn't what I'm like.
That's
you know?
kind of what it was like when we were playing in Vegas, and people thought we were something, and we weren't really like.
People would treat us like we were something, and so we just would get really fucked up. So you don't have to acknowledge it.
It's so like weird.
Drunk and trash the whole time, and just like
very uncomfortable.
Whatever, okay. But we've Kayla and I have talked about that because on tour, it's like people are like, oh, being a musician says you just go up there for like whatever your hour or whatever, and you're done. No, like. Once you get to the venue till you leave the venue, you're on the whole time. Like, I mean, you can kind of sneak off for a little bit, but then
you're at work.
Yeah, the rest of the time you're having to like talk to people and deal with the people in the band
and kiss babies.
Yeah, without why is a baby in this bar? It is like there's never that like break time. I mean, you go up there, you gotta like throw your shit on, you gotta set it all up, you gotta play a show that means something to hopefully somebody out there, and then you gotta yank all that stuff off with, you know.
Not to mention you have to like find a Wi-Fi hotspot to communicate with the next date or whatever sometimes.
Yeah, like trying to figure out what's happening tomorrow, how many hours the drive is, whether or not the band is going to turn on. It's lots to negotiate.
Yeah. That's what I always say. Like, it's always the where am I going to sleep, where am I going to eat, where am I going to poop?
Yeah.
The trifecta of being on the road.
Yeah.
Because you want comfort in all aspects.
So I say I like being on the road if I'm with a bunch of people that I just love the shit out of them, and we're making music that I'm proud of. Because then if you play the club and it's empty, you're like, fuck it, I love you guys. Let's just play the set and have some fun.
Right, yeah.
You know,
let's enjoy do this for ourselves.
Yeah.
Like the whole reason we started doing this.
And then when there is a bunch of people, it feels really good, you know? So, yeah. I mean, some of the nights with Elvis's that were maybe not, you know, a huge audience, everyone would be in such a bad mood, you know? It's just like...
How long were you with them? How long did you tour with them?
2.5 months.
Okay.
And it was an experience that I will never forget.
It seemed pretty constant, right?
I do feel grateful for it. Oh, yeah.
That
they're 8 days a fucking week, those guys. Yeah.
Because the other thing I remember you remarking about is like, it's a really good way to become an alcoholic in different cities. You said something to the effect of that.
Well, because I don't drink, right? Yeah. But then that's all there is to do. And that's... Everybody else is one party night that week, and that's your everyday. And then everybody wants to buy a drink, and then you're
in the
like,
center of the party, of someone else's party every night.
So here I am, this little straight edge, like getting drunk all the time. Like, whoa, this isn't me. This is so weird. Who is this? Yeah. Well, and the lack of responsibility, because like when I'm here, I have the whole rest of my life going in addition to being a musician. When you're just like one project every day. That's what you do.
All you have to do is be there at this
time.
Be
there for this one thing. Then it's like you can fly off the handle a little bit. And I need a lot of stuff to keep my brain active. And
right.
Yeah. So.
I feel like you could get into a real like misery cycle of hungover driving.
Yeah.
Like you just wake up in cars all nauseous, and then you get somewhere and you have a drink to feel a little bit better. And then you play a show and you have some more drinks, and the next day you wake up and
sometimes you'll just be drunk for more than one day at a time.
Yeah.
And that's like, I'm a little embarrassed to admit that.
Keep it going. No.
You're just like, fuck it, here we are, we'll party again.
I think pretty much every tour I have at least one incident of throwing up or blacking out.
Yeah.
All with a hangover.
Not like, boom tours. I always we like get healthy snacks from Sprouts and like.
See, we get to that point back at the end of the tour.
Yeah, you're like time to clean up, everybody.
Yeah, like at the beginning you're like, I can do anything, and then you go out there like a fucking Viking, and then you're like, I'm dying. Let's ease up again.
Yeah.
Because I forgot I'm not.
It's a balance.
21.
Yeah, it's a balance.
That's awesome. So Chichara, is that your main thing right now?
My main project right now, yeah.
Who are you doing that with? Who's that?
So that's me, Marisa, and Maro, where I'll play bass. Okay. So it's a 3-bass band, and we all sing like vocal harmonies on top of that.
I've said it before on the podcast. Chichara is fucking awesome. I saw you guys at Bert's.
Yeah.
Like a few months back.
Nice.
I was very impressed.
And I really enjoyed the new music video too.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Really I haven't seen that.
Oh, and I should say John Butler is our drummer, and then we've also worked with Henry Hutchinson. And on this last 48-hour album we did, we had both of them playing at the same time, which was fun.
Hot dang.
Yeah. So it's this album, this 48-hour thing that we haven't dropped yet, is going to be the most epic thing I've ever made. It's like guest musicians all over the place, 3 basses, 2 drummers, like madness. So.
And you made it in 48 hours?
Wrote the songs and recorded them in 48 hours.
So it's like the 48-hour film festival.
Yeah. Well, minus the production. We're still in kind of the production phase.
Yeah. It would be really hard to do that.
Production in 48?
They kind of did that. They kind of did that on we were talking about the Rock Outside the Box poster over here. They kind of did that where a band would come in, play for, pick like a 4-hour block or something like that. And then when we record up there at Stepbridge Studios with Tim Stroh.
Oh, yeah.
And then, you'd have to like knock that shit out live, maybe do some overdubs, and then have it all mixed down and ready to go before you left that night. And I remember we got there at like 8 o'clock and left at like 2 or 3 in the morning. It was really, really
it's rigorous.
And it was like a conveyor belt of like musicians. We had just gotten there as another band had like finished. And I don't know.
A lot of pressure.
Banging it out.
Right? Yeah, no, you weren't, it wasn't screwing around. You like threw in your $300 and you were like, okay, let's try this out.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's cool. That's a really awesome way to get it done.
And we were lucky. Carlos Garcia recorded us. He was there, and he's like my brother, you know?
Yeah.
So being in there with him, we were just having a good time. And he's so fucking talented. I mean...
We've had him on the show.
Oh, good. Yeah.
He's come on and performed a song.
I'm so excited for him. He's going to have a great time in Austin. I think his music is just going to fucking fly out there.
Going to miss him.
I think so.
I know.
Miss him.
Don't even talk about it. I'm going to start crying.
There's no crying. There's no crying in Fight Club.
In
in Podcast Club. What do you guys have coming up? What's Chichara?
So we're gonna try to do some touring in July. That's gonna be great.
Like a short
California, that kind of stuff. We might play with you in LA. Those guys recently transplanted, so that'll be fun.
How fun.
Yeah, and then we got that 48 hour that we're looking to put out. We have some more music video ideas. I'm glad you saw the music video. That was it's like a little pet project of mine.
Yeah, no, it's really fun.
I need to check that out.
It's
for
cool.
Sure.
It's like it combines like urban pole dancing with outdoor.
Well, and it's more
mimicking
like
kind of.
My friend, so Reba or Breathe Heloise is her name. She's just an incredible dancer.
Is she in one of the collectives or the aerialists, or is she just an independent?
She's a dancer. She's like a nightclub dancer.
Oh, okay.
And I just like met her because, I don't know, she also does yoga. She's at the rail yards all the time. Kind of ran into her, and I saw her dance for the first time. I was like, what? Where did you come from? You are the craziest thing I have ever seen.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's just incredible. Like really soulful, you know? So yeah, and we just took her out to the Bosque, and our plan was just to have her do a couple of small movements on the saplings or whatever, and we started rolling, and she just busted out the craziest like pole dancing improv on saplings you've ever seen in your life. Like, nice. I was standing there like, and she was getting torn up. She's bleeding all over the place, like, from working these trees. And we were just watching her, and I was like, oh, like, don't. She's flipping upside down. She's like bending all the saplings in different directions, and you'll have to see the video.
Yeah. But they coincide that with also inside the club, which
and then
is
also in
like,
her home, like to show her in all her different spaces, because I think people have sort of a very singular view of people who are nightclub dancers, right? And she's a whole person, like, you know? So that was sort of my concept, is I want to show every facet of what she is.
And more so, like, you get to do that visually with, like, moving picture better, of, like, having somebody doing the same thing in different spaces, but it's never like the thing changes, it's just the space changes. It's never, you can like convey a lot
because you are who you are.
Yeah, you can convey a lot of that around, you know. This thing's unchanging, everything else might change around it, but this thing's not gonna be any different.
And the music, it was set to the song "Beautiful," which I'll give to you guys to play.
Oh my
goodness. Is very much about the loneliness of performing when you are putting your soul into something, and maybe your audience just isn't receiving it, or maybe there's nobody that, you know, we've all played this show, right? Where everybody's kind of real drunk and not paying attention, and you're like, you're just trying to put your energy out there, and it's just hitting a wall and coming back at you in a really lonely kind of way. And I think everybody experiences that downtown, you know, sometimes. Yeah. You know, you go out and you're just like, you're surrounded by people, but you're very much just still.
I think yourself. Anyone who's ever played in a band for a period of time has probably had that show at least once.
Knows what that show is. Yeah. Marisa did the lyrics for it, and I think she captures loneliness in a really, really intense, special way.
Yeah. So. Which gets conveyed through the video a little bit, but there's nothing. It's almost. It's less about the video to me was less about loneliness and more about a celebration of being able to be alone, I guess.
Yeah.
Is kind of how I looked at it when I was watching it. I was like, man,
discovering your personal
Yeah. It's pretty sweet. Check it out. What's the YouTube it's on? Is it on Chichara's YouTube?
Yeah. So if you go to Chichara.
So if you punch in CHICHARRA.
Nice work. Yeah, it'll come up.
Because it's like one of the few videos you guys have up right now.
Yeah, it's the only one we've made so far.
One of many to come.
Yes, I love making video. I've gotten really excited about trying to capture movement, you know, in video. It's a whole another world. It's really exciting. So
nice.
Yeah.
And that's exciting that you get to, as we were talking about the aerialist thing before, getting to kind of take other people's movements and try and create a sound that would really vibe with them, I guess. I hate using that word.
Yeah,
vibe, but
collaborate. Yeah.
But totally it would be like kind of trying to take that idea of movement and put it into sound that's going to make it just as powerful.
Yeah, I love how that feels, that way of like pulling things in, and I usually have like visual prompts when I'm working on something, or like really strong images, or really strong, like a lot of the lyrics that I write in my solo project. Did I mention Cthulha?
No.
That's me solo. Cthulha is me solo. And yeah, that's a lot of that is like visually inspired.
Yeah, it's like interlude music time.
Come on down.
Welcome to intermission.
Right. You can't see us, but if you saw us, you'd see we were having a great time dancing over here.
Let's go out to the lobby. Let's go out to the lobby.
I get to be the drink. I always wonder what's in that drink, that soda.
Yeah.
So if you like your visuals with music, we're going to play you the music for this. But there is a music video which came out for Chichara's Beautiful, which is the next track we're playing for you. And so check it out. It's on YouTube. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Good shots.
Pause this right now, watch the video, and then come back and listen to the song again so you can remember how awesome the video was and hear how good the song is a second time.
Although if you want to reverse that and you want to listen to the song and imagine what you think it might be, and then watch the video and see how close your thoughts were to what came out of the video.
I could see both of those being
a fun experiment.
Options. Yeah. Whatever you want to do, listener. It's like a choose your own adventure and
shit. Yay!
All right, here's
Check
the song. What's it called, Rob?
Beautiful by Chichara.
Is that drink treating you? Are you me? Are you
Because I think one of the things that I kind of miss, we played Excelsior. Remember, we played Excelsior on the show like last year or whatever.
Yeah.
Where we just used to get like on a vibe and just like go with it. And like jam bands kind of get a bad rap because it seems like they don't put enough into their art or performances sometimes. But there's something said about being able to like dynamics and movements and slow and fast and that kind of stuff. Like we used to do this one intro to, was it Privatized that we would do this, Excelsior?
Yeah. We would open shows with it. It was like I just stood there while you opened the show with it.
Well, you conducted it kind of. I mean, you kind of like...
Did I? I don't know.
Well, you kind of would like let us know when to like, let's go, this next movement part,
Did
you know?
I?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because we would just get lost in it if that was the case.
So I was on some like John Williams shit.
Right?
That's pretty cool.
Awesome.
But yeah, we would get like lost in this like very ethereal, large sounding, just kind of vibe of grooving together, and then it, try and tie it back together into the opening
that
of the
risk
song.
makes it, there's something rewarding in the risk.
Yeah. Of like getting almost kind of far out there. And
you have a frame. It's not just like noodling into a 37-minute version of, a Grateful Dead song that sounded just like the 10 songs before it. You want a happy medium between that and just, being Kiss and going out and doing the pyrotechnics and playing the thing exactly the same way every time.
Right.
Yeah.
I got you.
Do you think Chicharo will kind of get to that level of where you can almost like vibe on some of that?
And
no, I mean just I'm talking about the improvisational vibe.
It's good that you mentioned that because I guess like between Yaya Boom and Chichara, like Yaya Boom is pretty through composed, meaning that like every little detail has been mapped out. You know?
Right.
Whereas Chichara, those songs started and they were like improv shells. It was like an idea of what the structure could be, and we were improving inside of the shell, and then like over time it got to be a little more set, but Chichara works in a much more improvisatory kind of way. It's a different way to work and it's fun, so one's not better than the other, I would just say. It's cool to try different things.
It's got to be hard to be like, if you're like Dave Matthews or whatever and you're trying to improv the same songs that you've played every night for 20 years, and you're trying to find, because you always see like there's just cues, like there's a place where there's going to be, bands like that are like a jam band that's really established where they've played those songs a million times.
You got to know who you're playing with. Yeah.
Right. There's a place where this is where it's going to be improv, and then there's whoever it is going to have a cue that's going to bring us back from that. So there's a skeleton that they hang it on.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean by shell, I guess.
Right.
Is that skeleton.
Yeah.
But that's cool. That to me, that's always a good way of like coming up with. Okay, so then with that in mind, that's a good way to come up with ideas when you're doing music because you can kind of experiment and you have that freedom to take risks because you're not obviously going to do it right in front of people all the time. But do you guys record that so you can kind of go back to it and listen to it, or you just remember that?
If we're writing week to week, then we have to like reconsult the phone and be like, "What the hell were we doing?" That was cool about the 48 though. Yeah, there was no stepping backward. It was just like running forward. Yeah. There's no, there was no time. If we want to play these songs live, we're gonna have to go back and figure them out. They were, it was just like an explosion of forward momentum. Wow. As opposed to the week to week writing, which is like what? Yeah.
What was that riff again? How did you do
what were you
again?
playing? What key was it in?
Let's try to stop and start here. Okay, no. Let's go back to that thing we did before.
Yeah. So I would highly suggest doing like a concentrated thing like that. It really, it's a different way to push yourself.
Right. It squeezes you in a way that you wouldn't normally do on purpose.
Yeah.
Normally you would take your time and let's take our time and make the best product possible.
Yeah.
Rather than, we got to go. We got to finish it. Okay, cool. Next one.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's a cool process. Different ways of looking at the process are always the best. You do things the same way and you get the same results a lot of times.
Exactly. You got to like reinvent your creative process. Totally.
Before we finish up, I kind of want to talk about Gattazi Vatas again, just because like I hate kind of like labeling it as like you guys trying to create a safe space. And I don't want to use that terminology. I think it's more of a space where people
there's nothing safe about it.
It's like a nurturing space though.
It's a nurturing space, and because it's nurturing, I could pull out the craziest thing I could think of. Yeah. I mean, there's pieces I've made for Gatas that I cannot play anywhere else. Like, there were like some big giant visual exploration. I did one year. Did you see Protein?
I don't think so.
So I'd made a giant mural of like of a matanza. Yeah. Have you ever been to one?
It's where you cook the pig under the ground.
Yeah, we turn 16 and they kill a pig for you. Yeah. So I had that going, and then I painted all my muscle structure out on the outside of my body and like all my bones and stuff, and I was performing with a dog. It was a cello piece. But yeah, I mean, it was a nude piece. It had involved all this body paint and all this, I can't do it anywhere else. It was just like... It was made for that festival. The people there, that's an audience that would really appreciate what I made, you know? Right. So every year for Gathas, I'm like, okay, when I'm designing that set, I'm like, what terrifies me? Make a list of what I'm terrified of. And if I'm having nightmares about it, I know I'm on the right track. Nice. You know? I'm like, all right, this idea is giving me nightmares. I'm having little night terrors about it. It's going to be good, right?
There's a book, The War of Art, where they talk about like resistance. Like some of us experience artist's block of some kind, right? Yeah. And he talks about where you can use the fear as a compass. Like whatever makes you uncomfortable is kind of probably the direction you want to go. Generally in life, like that's kind of the.
So like the first year, I think what was terrifying for everybody was to just get up and play solo. That was terrifying enough. Right. And then as years went on, it was like, well, you're chasing down that high. So you're like, how much crazier can I get?
Is it all solo sets? Is that the thing?
Yeah, okay. And that's part of what's scary about it. For a lot of women, I think they're not used to
I would say a lot of musicians, honestly. I mean, unless you're just like an overconfident douchebag. Because like you're never more naked in that moment of
and it has to be original work too, like no covers. So it's like your brain power, your performing ability is just you.
Your creativity.
Yeah. And that's a lot to be putting out into the world.
Because it was fine being in Batwings. I could screw up and know that like I had other people making it up. Right. Like, once you start getting to the point of like naked artistry,
literal naked. Yeah.
So with that idea, it kind of sounds like your performance is trying to capture. I mean, obviously, like performance and music are like ephemeral. They don't last. You're in the moment and you experience them, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
Unless you're talking about a recorded
work
or whatever.
Even that will eventually degrade.
Yeah. Even then, my records,
castles will crumble to the sea.
My records are gonna wear out. But like, have you ever thought about it like that you're kind of creating an ephemeral experience that you're not going to recreate again, or that's just not going to happen?
There would have to be another space. I mean, Gathas is just so unique Tit Wrench is pretty cool in Denver. That's where we kind of got inspired
Tit
too.
Wrench.
I love Tit Wrench. Yeah, Tit Wrench is awesome.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's hard to put yourself out there just to begin with, and then when you take it to that place, finding,
I've always liked having a live element to something that's an experience rather than something that wouldn't work if you just filmed it. It wouldn't have the same feeling if you just watched a tape of it or whatever.
Pieces need each other.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
Like something about that, it's exciting because everything's commodified in our world now,
Right.
It's like you got to figure out what the product you're going to make is so that you can, pay rent and shit. But that's why it's exciting to have like everyone in the theater right now is just experiencing this thing and then it's over. Like, it makes the moment crucial.
Well, and so the people who showed up that night, I mean, they just see a piece of your soul and then.
Yeah.
Well, and then like the idea you said of like going at it with the idea of, fear, and you do it once and you're like, holy shit, I survived, and you're like, well,
I'm alive still.
Yeah. But it's not like, okay, I don't know if I'm going to do that again, because you already kind of looked at it and faced the fear. I mean obviously it'll always be scary. Like, I always bring this one up, but I did stand-up comedy open mic one time.
Whoa.
And talk about like naked feeling, man.
Yeah.
I practiced 12 minutes. I cut 7 minutes right before I went up, and did like 5 minutes that I totally dissociated for. Like, I don't remember what people laughed at. I don't remember how good I was.
Just blacked out.
Yeah,
I just totally
like,
from the terror.
I just totally was scared and went up and did it, and then got off there and I was like, I don't know if I can ever do that again. Like, there's
that's crazy.
Like, that's one of the performance, like, again, being able to hide behind music a little bit, you can kind of do that with an instrument and things, but like in that context, you're trying to find what other people might find slightly humorous and pull it out of them and be like, look, it's really funny. And they're just like, oh, man, I don't know if I feel bad for this person or hate this person or
I don't know
what.
what's happening. Yeah, that sounds hard.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think it's a similar experience, what you're describing, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you go up and you do it once and it's been done.
So this is happening again?
God does. I mean, we're going back and forth on it. I think what's hard about it is that, I mean, it takes the whole year to put it together.
Yeah.
And
It's like Burning Man.
yeah.
That's what it reminds me of.
So you're working really hard on this thing, and then so you're not really working on your, at least for Marisa, like it takes so much. It's a Herculean effort to put it together.
And especially when there's been out of town ones, like we were talking about the Seattle
the
one.
traveling ones. They're a tremendous amount of work. And so she hasn't really had a chance to work on her solo stuff in a while, and I know she wants to be able to have some headspace for that. So we kind of got to talk about it and see. But it's such a valuable thing for the community. I can't say that it's over forever. It just might take a year off or something.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Revamp the juices. That's not the refill the juices.
Revamp the juices. I think that's an episode title right there. Episode 63, Revamp the juices.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
It's going to be really great once we do it. Any upcoming shows, performances, anything you want to plug
tonight,
and share?
Which means I got to get my shit together tonight at Low Spirits.
Yeah, this will be out like tomorrow-ish. So.
Cool. Okay. Oh,
this
so
will
that's
be
not helpful
yesterday to them.
Okay, so June 8th, I'm performing solo as Cthulha at the Tanix. I haven't performed solo in like a year, so that'll be a special one.
And you spell that like CTHULA?
K-E.
C-A... Way to quiz me on how to spell my own thing. Okay, yeah.
I thought it was K-E.
C-T-H-U-L-H-A.
Ah, okay.
Here we go.
I missed the second H.
And
I
then
almost got it.
Chichata is performing June 18th at the Tanix to benefit the Tanix to keep it open and get them some cash.
And where's that?
It's over by the NHCC. Like on that little corner, there's a series of galleries that are really awesome.
I've been wanting to go because they've been having like a couple of good shows.
They have great
lately.
stuff, great art, visual art. They do all kinds of different things. They're really fun.
And as far as like art and performance spaces go, like we had
it's all happening, man.
We had Josh from Black Market Goods on a couple weeks ago, and it's like those are such hard things to find when they happen, and there's a really amazing scene that gets built around it, and then eventually they just like die off and you're like, no, that scene was so great though. So would like to keep the Tanix around for a while, because these kinds of things are really rare.
Yeah.
And especially for like such a podunk little place like Albuquerque.
Yeah,
a big
it's a
podunk
really
city.
special thing. We got to keep it around.
So that's great. And that's what you got coming up, huh?
Yeah, and there's some other stuff too. Those are just probably the most
Off the top of your head.
off the top of my head. Yeah.
If people want to check out what you're doing or where they can see more, what's
For Chichado, we have a Tumblr.
okay.
So we spelled that already in the show, right? Oh God.
yeah.
We spelled it for the video. Yeah,
Two
so you can
Rs,
look up
two Rs.
Chichara on the Tumblr, and that usually has all our latest stuff. We're also on Facebook. Cthulha's on Facebook. Yeah.
And they can keep up with that.
Yeah.
And the Aerialists, they can look up Air Dance New Mexico and Aerialist Collective.
Albuquerque Areas Collective.
Because I'm sure they're going to be doing stuff at the rail yards, right?
Yeah, we always have little stuff going in.
So keep a lookout for that. Keep your Sundays open, people.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Don't make me say it again.
All right. Word up.
Well, right on. Last thoughts. I think this one would be a good one. Is there anything you'd like to tell any kids, but especially little girls out there who don't know? Because we know they're a big demographic for our show. that like just any like words of wisdom or encouragement, like
just to never underestimate or forget your value. That like you're practicing, you're working hard, and sometimes people, without even trying to, can make you feel really undervalued or like you're not good enough. And
the world's really good at that.
Yeah, I mean, people don't even mean to sometimes. They just
Right.
say the wrong thing, or so like not to let that take you out. Just fuck it, keep practicing. Keep practicing, practicing, and then your voice is valuable, and everybody wants to hear it. Everybody wants to know what you have to say. Not like your voice is like your singing voice, but like your voice as an artist, like what you make, what's in there,
what you bring to the table.
I want to know. Yeah, exactly. I want to know what you bring to the table. We all want to know. So.
Right.
Don't just play at home.
You heard that.
Go hit some open mics. Do whatever you got to do. Like
you heard it. You heard it first, straight from the problem hole, people.
Right.
Don't stop believing.
Yeah. Totally.
Well, I've been Holiday Rob.
I'm Loki Sapfoot,
and this is
Monica Demarco.
And we'll catch you next week. Be stupid, productive, and happy.
Go fuck yourself. Let's play a song
from the lobby.
Let's play a song to play us out. I'm bringing it back to play us out.
What does
What's
that mean?
To play us out. I'm bringing it back.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Fuck it, we'll
do
it
live.
live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Okay.
Why do we do this? This is stupid.
Yeah,
no, it's
suck.
not. This is great.
Fuck us.
This was a good episode. I'm glad that Monica got to be a part of our silliness. Got to talk about some stuff. I always wondered about her musical journey because I've known her seems like forever. Like there's just people you meet in Albuquerque and you don't know.
She's everywhere.
Well, and you don't know you're gonna know them like 15. A decade later, whatever, 15 years.
decades later.
15 decades later, we are still stranded on this planet. But as we were talking about this, I did get to bring up it started out as the Yaya Boom Project, which is how it originally started, and then they had to shorten it eventually to just Yaya Boom.
Yeah.
So we're gonna play a song from those days, which now we're talking about it. It's like that's probably like
the Isness holiday sale days.
Probably like a decade ago.
At least.
God.
More than that.
Yeah, well,
almost two.
In some aspects,
decade and a half.
No, I'm waiting for the 10-year anniversary of the first holiday sale release. Like, not that I'm going to do anything special. No, we're releasing it on vinyl. It's going to be remastered.
Oh yeah.
I've always thought about that. I'm like, why not?
That's pretty sweet.
It'd be awesome.
I'd hang that on my wall. That album artwork.
I got the real painting.
I know.
4 feet tall. It's disgusting.
Rob's living room is all Rob and centaurs, Rob and horses. Well, it's gonna be a centaur if I ever follow through on making us a logo. Anyway, what are we doing right now?
We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that throwback Albuquerque scene band, good timey music. This is Yaya Boom playing Hands and Feet.
Hands and Feet.
Check it out. We'll see you next week.
All right.
Keep your pants on.
Or don't. Don't let Rob tell you what to do.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.